You need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate. Because every accident has a ripple effect. It affects your time, your health, your ability to make money, everything. That's where the advocates can help. Thanks to our decades of experience, we know what your case is worth, and we'll fight to get you every penny you deserve. Consultations are simple and always free, because you're not just a client to us, you're a person, and you deserve the best help you can get. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube.
Monty!
And now, here's Monty.
Hey, good morning to you, Monty. How's everybody? Happy Wednesday. Are you married yet? You're not.
No, it's hump day for me.
On the Monty Show. Every day's hump day on the Monty Show. We were sitting here doing different incarnations of saying the word Monty. Monty! Anyway, good morning. Good to see you. The Monty Show presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, where you never pay for the best representation. No, you never reach into your pocket to pay the advocates, because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. So when you've been in that car accident, and trust me, guys, if you've been hurt at work, don't trust your employer. Don't trust your insurance company. And I know we get a lot of pressure. Hey, be a company man. Hey, it's okay. We're going to take care of you. And maybe they are. Maybe your company's on the up and up, and they're going to pay you, and your job's going to be there, and you're not going to be looked down upon because you were in an accident that wasn't your fault at work. Maybe that's all true. But what risk do you have in going to the advocates and talking to the best workman's comp injury attorneys in the business at theadvocates.com? Hey, if you don't need an attorney, they're straight up going to tell you, hey, you're all good. Your boss, your company, your owner, your insurance company, they're doing it exactly the right way. That costs you nothing, and they're going to tell you the truth at the advocates. That's the bottom line. You can trust what they say. They are the injury attorney professionals. They've been doing it a long time, so there's nothing they haven't seen. Talk to an attorney live online, 24/7, 365, and it's not going to cost you a dime, if I could speak, at theadvocates.com. Good morning. Good to see you. It is a historic day in college football once again. And I don't mean to, bloviate, Monty. I don't mean to wax on with big terms or dramatic verbiage. Today's a day that history is likely going to change, college football. Today's a day that we will remember as the day that college football potentially changed forever. Because not only did we get history yesterday as the college football playoff moved to a 5-7 format, as we so succinctly told you it would.
Yay!
This was always the eventual outcome. But here's the truth. Whoa.
Hey, Monty.
Whoa.
Monty.
Whoa.
Bro.
Whoa.
No redos.
Monty, you got a huge head, boy.
Bro.
Hey, but there it is. All right, let's go here. Good to see you, finally. So whole head in frink.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, yesterday with the 5-7 model, nobody was surprised by that. Today's the day that we could see a power play, and that power play is going to happen in the form of the SEC and the Big Ten going to the College Football Management Committee meeting and demanding more spots in the college football playoff and more money for participation in the college football playoff. And if they don't get it, the obvious looming threat is that they will quickly expedite a God tier. Because remember, we don't have an agreement in place where everybody's locked into these contracts. We don't have that yet at this point. Is that coming? I believe it is. Will the SEC and the Big Ten get more spots in the college football playoff? I believe that they will, and I don't think it's even going to be much of a fight. Is that just? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But remember what today is. Today is the day that potentially college football changes forever. And whether that is a God tier being created, whether that is the Big Ten and the SEC successfully executing a power grab, today the game is going to change. And Jake, I don't necessarily believe it's for the better.
Yeah, to me, I look at this and I say this is just the nature of business. This is how things get done. I mean, whether you're looking at college football or you're looking at any other type of business opportunity, those who have the power are going to decide their own fate. And I think, the way you get power in college football is you win. You are present. You're in the conversation every year. And the Big Ten and the SEC have been the two conferences that are most regularly in the college football playoff when it's all said and done. And yeah, it's great that we expanded the college football playoff and we've got a 5-7 model. But the reality of the situation is that doesn't change the fact that the SEC and the Big Ten are probably going to be the two that are in the championship game. And because of that, that gives you control. That gives you power. And so to me, yeah, I do think that, if you do not approve these two conferences getting more money, getting more opportunity, getting what they would call their fair portion of the pie, if you will, they're going to create their own way to get their fair share of the pie. And I think it's just, and I know a lot of people probably in Big 12 country or ACC land are going to be all pissed off about this, right? They're going to say, hey, TCU was there, or we've had other teams that have been there once in 8 years now, or whatever it's been. And the problem with that is that you can't be there once and then not even really be in a New Year's Six Bowl the next year. That doesn't work.
Well, I also think this goes back to what happened yesterday in the 5-7. I think this was a fait accompli. I think we've known for months and months that a 5-7 was coming. I think it is why so many teams bailed, or partially why so many teams bailed on the Pac-12, because they knew there was no financial future in it. I think what this is with the 5-7 is the only opportunity the Big Ten and the SEC see in the near future to grab more spots and to grab more cash, because that's really what this is all about now. It's about who makes the most money and who has the most access. And one of the things we've talked about on a regular basis is this idea of Notre Dame being in a precarious spot. And has Notre Dame's road gotten steeper? Has it become more difficult for Notre Dame to win a championship? It absolutely has. If the SEC and the Big Ten end up winning this power grab today, I don't think there's any doubt it puts more leverage on Notre Dame to join a conference. I think that the parameters we've talked about, if Notre Dame can't make more money, if Notre Dame doesn't have access to a national championship, if Notre Dame doesn't have a TV deal, well, now they've got really two of those three. They've got access to a championship and they've got a TV deal, but what's the issue? They're limited in their financial scope now if this happens today. Because let's not forget, the 5-7 does one thing very critically that most people don't like. It keeps the ability to win a national championship in the centers of college football power. It gives the Power Four conferences, whether you look at them that way or not, it almost doesn't matter. But it gives the ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10, and the SEC an auto bid for a spot to win a national championship. Well, if you're Notre Dame, you're not in one of those Power Four conferences. You are an independent. So for the first time, and especially if this goes through, if the Big Ten and the SEC are successful at grabbing more spots and grabbing more money, Notre Dame is going to feel pressure to join a conference. Because as it is today, they've got to win. I believe it would be 4 games in a row to win a national championship. Does Alabama, does Ohio State, does Georgia, does Oregon or USC have to win 4 straight games to win a national championship?
No,
they don't. Because if they win their conference, they automatically get a bye. So there's 1 game down, right? You can see the writing on the wall here. The centers of power in college football are changing. And the SEC and the Big Ten are going to power grab as much as they can. And this idea, and I think this is a really, really important conversation, this idea that the SEC and the Big Ten want to end the NCAA, that's the last thing that they're concerned about. That's not at all what this is about. And I can only tell you so many times, all the SEC and the Big Ten care about is making more money and putting more of their teams in the college football playoff. We've talked about this for months and months. They know that if they end the NCAA, the idea of a national game of college football comes to an end. the idea that you would have the ability to crown a singular champion who without doubt is the best team in college football comes to an end the moment that the NCAA dies, which is why you haven't heard 2 words from Greg Sankey about ending the NCAA, which is why the new boy, Tony Petitti, has only talked openly and loudly and to anybody that will listen that the NCAA is an important body when it comes to college athletics.
Facts.
They're not interested in ending the NCAA. They're interested in controlling the college football playoff because that's where the real money is. And I also think with this 5-7 vote yesterday, did anybody see what George Kliavkoff's former boss said? Kirk Schultz not only fired George Kliavkoff, replaced him with Commissioner Gould, a historic hire, but then rolled over and voted for the 5-7. And what did he say? We were never going to stand in the way or fight to prevent a 5-7 model. And why did he say that? Because he understands there's only one route to the college football playoff if you're not in the P4. And that is more at-large bids. And that's why today becomes so historic. Because if the Big Ten and if the SEC are able to pull off this power grab, there's only one of 2 things that happens. The G5 is completely dead in the water, or this thing's going to go to 16 or 24. That's it. Those are the only avenues. And I think that ultimately is what the Big Ten and the SEC are after. They are after expanding the college football playoff because they know that once they are the bully on the block, they'll always be the bully on the block. And if they get more spots now, they're going to get more spots later. And if they have to wait 3 years to get more spots, I don't think they care. But what is very clear is the SEC and the Big Ten are going to get more money and they are going to get more power. And I think that starts today. And I think today, again, not to use big words, and today is another historic day. And I feel like we've said that almost monthly for the last couple of months with all these decisions, all these lawsuits. And I see all the Florida State fans in the comments section yesterday trying desperately to compare themselves to, one guy was going on, and what really was multiple guys,
Right.
going on and on about how, hey, Monty, Florida State is no different than OU in Texas leaving the Big 12. God damn it.
Right.
Well, the only difference is that OU in Texas, 1, paid to leave early, but 2, were leaving when the grant of rights ended. And when they didn't want to wait that long, they paid to leave early. The grant of rights isn't ending in the ACC. The other difference is Florida State doesn't have any power.
No, because they don't win.
Florida State doesn't have the pull that Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti have. Because Tony Petitti, whether you think they're legit or not, he's got the national champion, and it wasn't close. Michigan kicked the crap out of everybody this year. So he's got the hammer. And Greg Sankey's the commissioner of the best football product in the country in the SEC. So he's got the hammer. Can Brett Yormark walk into the meeting today and be like, hey, man, we want more spots and more power. We want more money. And if you don't give it to us.
You and what college football playoff team?
If you don't give it to us. What am I going to do here? I'm going to go hide in Rucker Park. The Big 12 has no juice.
Yeah.
Do you think the you think the ACC's walking in and being like, I want more spots and more money. God damn it. We're not going to give it to you. Fine. Then we'll keep fighting FSU in court. What are they going to do? If the SEC and the Big Ten, who are in lockstep and have this alliance, they walk into that meeting today and they're like, yeah, each of us gets another spot in the playoff, and we want a 25% bump in college football playoff revenue.
It is what it is.
What are you going to do about it?
Well, now what?
Yeah.
Right? Now what?
We're in a control position.
Well, what if we're not? No, we said no. Okay. Then we're going to take the best of you sitting at this table, because let's be honest. If Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti call Brett Yormark and say, hey, we want to form a God tier, you guys in or you out? You think Brett's saying no to that? You think he's saying no to that? Because I'm telling you now, the next phone call to form a God tier doesn't go to Charlotte. It goes to Dallas. Well, the Omni Hotel really.
Right.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
It goes to the Big 12. It doesn't go to the ACC.
Yep.
Because the Big 12, I still maintain, and I guess we can argue hyperbole over this.
Right.
I still maintain the Big 12 is the second best conference in college football. I am not. The Big 10 has the money, and that ultimately at the end of the day is what matters. But we can all sit here and pretend to know the bottom line is on the field, the Big 12 was a better product than the Big 10 last year.
Yeah, and I think that changes this year. That's the problem.
I think that changes too.
That's the problem.
But if Utah makes the college football playoff, if you can get 2 teams in those 7 at-large bids, we're having a different discussion.
Is it expected Utah is going to go to the college football playoff?
I expect Utah to be the hammer in the Big 12.
Because
Yes, I do.
everybody's pretty much saying they're the best team now in the Big 12. And I know, little Monty over here doesn't watch football. We don't know anything about anything.
Monty, do you even watch football, boy?
We don't watch Jazz games. We don't know what we're talking about. And,
hey, Monty, you ought to pay attention.
I'm still waiting for the $400 million check that we were told the Pac-12 was going to get. That's never coming and never was going
Monty,
to.
they're going to. Kirk Schultz, that was one of the small victories deep inside my loins yesterday. When the 5-7 was announced, I said deep inside my loins. You didn't even have a reaction.
I wasn't sure what to say there. I wanted to allow you to keep going.
I used the words loin, and you didn't even have. Okay,
his cock.
One of the small victories deep inside my loins yesterday,
right,
macaque,
was when the 5-7 was announced, and I got a DM from an old friend who will remain anonymous
via social media,
congratulating me.
Oh.
Because in October, when we told you, hey, it's very clear 5-7's coming because the Pac-12 is not going to be recognized and they won't be paid on par, and they're not going to get whatever the fine folks who run, Unlocked on Big 12 were saying about $600 million, ESPN and the money and UFOs and shit.
Yeah.
It was never happening.
Yeah.
It was never happening.
So, just thought we'd point that out. I know that the folks over there on certain channels are, putting out videos that might include our name in the title and doing
which is amazing.
So, hey, you're welcome. You can make money off us. That's fine. That's fine. But, we'll take our victory lap. That's cool. Are
the Big 10 and the SEC worth more money in more spots?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, how are they not?
You think they are?
Yeah. I mean, you're the most dominant football conferences. I mean, top to bottom, is the Big 12 more quality? Like from team 1 to, all the way down? Like, are they more quality? Yeah, probably. In totality, yeah. But I think that changes this year because you've added so much quality to your conference if you're Tony Petitti. So now if you're the Big 12, you got to kind of find your way to be friends with the big boys. And I'm not quite sure what that looks like yet. I mean, obviously, if a God tier were to play out, the Big 12 will have representation, I'm sure. But that doesn't change the fact that you're not some college football playoff juggernaut, man. Like, with all due respect, you're just not.
I think this is a huge conversation because I do happen to be in the and I know it's a minority at this point. I do happen to be in a minority that believes that they're not worth more money. They're not. I think what's worth more money is what's best for college football. I think there are 2 conversations here. Is the SEC the best conference in college football? It is. We need to stop lumping the Big 10 into this conversation about what the best quality product in college football and basketball is. Because if we're doing that conversation, the Big 10 has no place in it. Because the Big 10 is not the best on the field or the court. Let's just put that to bed right now. The SEC, that's a different story. Good, not elite, but really good basketball product. Elite, the best in the business in college football. Hands down. I don't think it's close. Is the SEC on its own worth another college football spot and another college football playoff spot and more money? Yes. But here's the thing. They're already going to get that. They're already Lane Train in, Georgia in, Bama even after Nick Saban in.
Yeah.
Right. You look at the depth that is coming in the SEC, they're in. They're already going to control that. The issue now becomes for the Big Ten, USC, Washington, and Oregon have to perform because Michigan's going to be down here for some period of time. And I think that Penn State is anything but a lock now in this new world of the college football playoff. I think you're looking in the Big Ten, the Ohio State. They're going to be in every single year. What Ryan Day, a la Lloyd Carr, did this year to build that staff and to bring in that talent, they're going to be in for the next 3 years. I don't think there's any question about that. But who beyond them is a lock? Is Oregon a lock? I think they are. Is USC and Lincoln Riley a lock?
You can't say they're a lock.
I would agree. I don't know that you can say that Lincoln Riley and USC are a lock at this point. I think he's got some proving to do.
He does. And I think the problem with the question of, hey, are the SEC and the Big Ten, worth more, is that obviously what you said about the Big Ten is true, right? The Big Ten has been a 2-team conference for some time, but the problem is, even with that being the case, they've still been in the college football playoff way more than the ACC and the Big
simply
12.
But here's the thing. It's been simply and Michigan.
Yeah.
And now Michigan, beyond the fact that their roster is going to turn over by 70%, Sharon Moore is going to be your head coach with a brand new staff, and the core of that staff left with Jimmy.
Right. They're going to go through it. There's no
right.
doubt. Yeah.
They're going to be down.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt that you have to wonder if they're one of the top 12 teams. And we haven't even discussed implementing NCAA sanctions on that program.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, they have to prove they're one of the top 12 teams.
I think that's the case.
Yeah,
I think Washington with Jed Fish, and I love Jed Fish. He's got to prove he's one of the 12 best teams in the country, especially in that conference, because I don't see Jed Fish's Washington Huskies routinely beating the Oregon Ducks with Dan Lanning and company in the restock that he did.
I think you're Ohio State, Oregon, and everybody else.
I think you're SC. Monty, you're an SC homer.
I'm not doing that.
Well, I think with the talent that he's got there, and I think Lincoln has proven that he is routinely at the top of college football until the biggest games, which means he'll get into the college football playoff. I don't know that he'll win.
Is this Big Ten better than last year's Pac-12?
No, it's not.
Okay. Well, then he's got a better chance.
I don't believe that I don't. I don't. He
doesn't have the only great defense in that conference on paper is Oregon right now. Ohio State's got a good defense.
Ohio State's going to be very good.
But Oregon's the most physical, beat your ass defense in that conference right now.
I would agree. And I just don't know that Washington can make that claim. I think offensively, it's going to be a pretty good show in the Big Ten.
I think the other thing we got to remember is the Big Ten After Dark is going to start too. We can't forget that portion of the situation, right? So they're going to be getting –
and SC and Oregon are going to have to travel.
Yeah, and so when you look at travel implications, you look at the TV schedule, you look at how all that impacts a football game. I mean, again, USC's not going to have to go and play Washington State on a Friday night anymore, or Oregon State on a Friday night anymore, obviously. But that doesn't mean that USC all of a sudden with a new quarterback and a new situation is just going to roll out. I agree with what I've always said. Lincoln Riley will always have a gunslinger back there that can go out and win you a ball game. But I'm curious what his take on this season will be, because there was a lot of speculation. Hey, is Lincoln going to look at NFL jobs? Is Lincoln going to do this? Is he going to do that? It's been very quiet at USC, in my opinion. You haven't really heard a whole lot.
Justifiably so. But here's the question I would ask you. September 21st, USC, Ann Arbor, Michigan, the Big House.
Should be a win.
That should be a win for USC. We're going to find out that. That's a day I would think we would find out who's who and what's what with Michigan and USC.
I am inclined to think, though, even with everything Sharon's got to deal with at Michigan, right? All the turnover, everything that's going on, I'm still inclined to think that Michigan is still a gritty, tough-ass team.
Okay.
I still think that personality will not be lost on whatever this new team looks like. But yeah, I would on paper expect Lincoln Riley to be able to go in there and get a win.
Yeah, I think it's a huge question. And I am very curious to see how all that plays out. Let's get your thoughts in here on the Monty Show. Always presented by our good friends at Prize Picks, prizepicks.com. Download the Prize Picks app. They are our preferred daily fantasy partner. And really, once you get into it, you're going to realize Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy partner where you can get a push out of 3 NHL netminders last night. Sorokin, you son of a biscuit. One more save. You couldn't give him up on one more save. Pretty difficult to push. I love playing Prize Picks. I love the NBA. I think the NBA on Prize Picks with spring training. By the way, big round of applause. Spring training. Everybody's in. Games are starting. Chicago Cubs season ticket holder right here. Oh, look at that in stereo. Chicago Cubs season ticket holder will be in Mesa in 3 weeks. Cannot wait.
You bringing your Cody Bellinger jersey, or what are we doing here?
Anyways, download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty to get 100% deposit matching.
Reset.
See, like that's just such a dick thing to say. You and I both know that the Ricketts don't spend money.
Those cheap apps.
Tom Ricketts, real quick. Tom Ricketts, the owner of the Cubs, the other day, open spring training with his, let's meet with the owner shit.
Oh, everything's great, man.
And what did he say? Oh, we haven't even started negotiating with Cody Bellinger. You don't say, you cheap
douche.
You want to be behind Tom Ricketts? No, I'm not going to say it. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty to get 100% deposit matching up to $100. You put in 50, they'll give you 50 more. You can play for a lifetime on Prize Picks on a Hyundai. Put in $10. You can play for a lifetime with $20 at Prize Picks. You put in 10, they'll give you 10. You're playing with 20 at prizepicks.com. Download the Prize Picks app on your telephonic device.
What do you hyenas have to say today? You going to have a good day in the comments section, or are you going to have one of those days?
Zesty's Retro and Games, who's been a member for 11 months.
What's up, Zesty?
Spring training games start soon. Who's excited? This guy right here.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
I am super stoked for baseball. Mountain Mama, take me out. Good morning. How are you? Tanner Plummer was first in, but Tanner, thanks for not hitting the like button. You going to hit the like button eventually?
No.
We had 4,000 views on the show yesterday, and we got like 12 likes. Let's go.
Thanks,
hit the
guys.
like button. We're at about 500 views already this morning. Only 31 likes. There's 120 of you here. Hit the like. Don't make me start giving away Xboxes.
Yeah.
Please. Dak at the Tubbs. Good to see you, my friend. He says he's the first like. OG Gary. 5-7 means Notre Dame can only get as high as 6. Sucks for Notre Dame. Yeah. I guess so.
Notre Dame, our mother.
Gary, I think it's a really interesting point,
But
as I mentioned earlier.
Isn't that the position Notre Dame's always been in? I mean, you
Always.
were like you're an independent. That's the position you're in. So yeah, cool. You don't get the bye week for being an auto qualifier, but again, you are always going to have to grind your way through it, and that's what makes their seasons special when they win. Now, this year, do you get a better version of Notre Dame because of this process?
Well,
I don't know. You better.
we don't have the right coach in South Bend, and I say we because they call me Uncle Monty. I'm on the roster too. I'm a special teams captain. Anyway, the point is, we at Notre Dame don't have the right head coach.
Right.
Can't count to 11. You can't be the head coach at Notre Dame. No, I am not going to forgive you. Mad Cat, good morning to you. Dakota says maybe Notre Dame should get off their gold-plated throne, not solid gold, and join a conference then. I think if this SEC Big Ten power play happens, and let's say you only get 5 at-large bids, Notre Dame's almost got no choice because you have one bad week and you're out of the college football playoff.
Yeah.
You're out of the college football playoff because at that point, you have 7 spots spoken for in 5 at-large bids.
Yes.
And that doesn't even begin to talk about where the G5 is going to go here. And I think if you're Notre Dame at that point, you have to join a conference. You have to change things. And does that mean that Jack Swarbrick, the athletic director at Notre Dame,
Right.
does that mean that he finally moves to the category of let's destroy the ACC so I can
Notre
join the
Dame,
Big
our
Ten?
mother.
Right? Is that what that means?
Could be.
I think there's a conversation there. Big Blue Horses, hello. Mr. Ohio, hello. Tanner Plummer. Jake is getting hitched. When's the wedding? Never. Speaking of Jake getting hitched, look, it's James, Oak State James.
Wow, nice of you to actually join the program, man.
Hi, this is James. Welcome back.
Good morning. James says, hit the like button. We want the show to grow 100K subs by the end of 2024. By the end of 2024, by the end of July, by the end of June.
Yeah.
Mike Smith, give us a warning before you hit those close-up shots. Too early for that stuff. Okay.
No redos.
Dakota, Missouri didn't ask to be part of the God tier, but it's a sacrifice we're willing to make.
Oh, you're willing to make it. I see. Okay. Okay.
You're so giving. Mr. Ohio, the Mr. Ohio. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Truth be told, it's
100%.
all about the Benjamin. There's no doubt
way
about
around it.
Two Masta. Wow, Two Masta is back. Bunch of realignment revisionism. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, how is it revisionism?
I think you look at what the Big Ten's trying to do. I think you look at what the SEC is trying to do. They both added some of the crown jewels of realignment. You get OU in Texas, you're a better brand now. You get in the Big Ten, Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA. You add that to your conference. How does the Big 12 adding the four corner schools? Well, Arizona doesn't really have an athletic department anymore.
Yeah, Gary, how you doing, bud?
Gary, sorry, bud. Kenny Dillingham. We coming in like five.
Today would be shitty.
In like 5 years.
Right.
Right. But Dion certainly is on the way up. Jutta is certainly, Kyle Whittingham is, I think, inarguably the most undisrespected, lack of respect coach in the game of college football. I think he's a top 5 head coach right now today. I think he's the best coach in the old Pac-12. And I think arguably he's the best coach in the new Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're better, but are you national championship better? Maybe that's a lesson we learned 2 years ago out of TCU. Sure you are. You got to go achieve and you got to go win games. But sure you are.
Yeah.
Is Kyle Whittingham going to have one of the best defenses in the country? I don't have to wonder about that because they will. Is Cam Rising going to be healthy? I don't know. Is Brent Keithy going to be healthy? I don't know. Those are things we can wonder about.
Yeah.
Will Witt have a defense? Yeah, absolutely. Will he take a 5 foot tall fullback and make him one of the best safeties in the Big 12? He will. That's what he does.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about it. That's who Utah is. Utah puts out championship caliber defenses. Mark it
That's
down.
what they do.
You're going to struggle to score against Utah. Jetta. It is what it is. Dakota, man, I can imagine a college football playoff game being played in Lawrence.
Okay, hold on.
No.
Let's see.
No,
okay.
you can't.
All right, go ahead.
With Mizzou at large playing Big 12 champ Bird School U at it's Burrowhead Stadium, please. Because their stadium isn't done. Border War 2008 V2. Okay, let me ask you this, Dakota. How far does Mizzou fall this year? Because you're not having the same year you had last year.
Nope.
A lot.
You're not going 62-12 this year. I think that was your record last year. I could be wrong.
Right.
You look at the new SEC without divisions, and I think you're going to have a tough time in that there SEC because you're 6-2 last year in conference. I would think Tennessee is going to be better than 4-4, although I would think at some point Florida is going to make a coaching change. Maybe never. I would think at some point Vandy will win a conference game.
Right.
But you look at what was the Old West, Bama, Ole Miss, LSU. Those are all good football teams that are going to the playoff. They are. One of them is going to win the conference championship or go to the college football playoff. Because here's the other thing. That Bama-Georgia thing last year, that's never going to happen again. In that scenario, Bama and Georgia are both in.
Yeah.
Georgia ain't missing the college football playoff again. I can guarantee you that's not happening.
Nope.
So, let's see. Leave Immaculate alone. Who said anything about Immaculate? Well, Jake did. I didn't.
So,
beyond being completely wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering. So we got called, but then when we're right, we're not supposed to say anything. Just asking for a friend.
We're never right. OG Gary, I would agree that 12 is the second best. However, this year onwards, 12 is probably third. Can't ignore depth of Michigan. Michigan does not have depth right now.
No.
They between what they lost in the draft, which was pretty much all of their leadership. I think you look at some of the wide receiver performances they got during the playoff, that's gone. You don't recover, and you still have not gotten penalized, which is going to cripple your depth. So I would disagree that that Michigan can't or has depth. The Oregon, USC, Washington, Penn State in this Big Ten is not one of the top 12 teams in the country.
No.
That's a 4-loss, 5-loss Penn State team. They're not better than SC. They're not, in my opinion, they're not even on the same God tier as Oregon.
Yeah, I think the question around Washington's a really good one, though. Like,
yes.
What Washington's going to be. I mean, I think we have no idea what that team's going to look like.
Who and what is Jed Fish?
Yeah.
I think that's a huge question. That is a huge question. Elaine Tran, I'm with Monty, and I'm with Elaine.
Yeah, you guys are one together.
You know, Mr. Ohio, none of this would ever happen if it wasn't for that damn Herb Street.
Oh, that's what it is.
And
So
those
the
helmets.
angle.
Monty, put those helmets on the bookshelf, boy.
They colluded.
Did you see the colors in the Super Bowl logo?
That's the untrained eye.
Nice try.
Elaine Tran, Big 12 is fun to watch in football and basketball. Well, not last night in Provo. It wasn't fun to be a Baylor fan. Anybody see the Brigham?
How
about Brigham?
Cougar Tails.
How about Brigham hitting shots down the stretch to not beat Baylor, put Baylor away?
Yeah.
Put Baylor away. BYU basketball. Telling you, man, that's not the easy out they were in the WCC.
The
W. Let's see. Ferris Khan.
Oh, this should be good.
I'm giving you a shot. Lumping in basketball and football does not apply. Football is massive. Basketball is just a 3-week TV event. See?
This is the dumbass stuff you say, dude. Like,
And I don't know how to overcome this. You're at a football school at Michigan. Ferris is a Michigan fan. You're at a football school where basketball is not very good right now. That doesn't mean that basketball, which in the Big Ten has been horrendous for how long now? Basketball is a revenue generator. Ask San Diego State. By the way, the San Diego.
Yeah, the San Diego's there. Just want to point that out again.
San Diego State. Ask FAU. That basketball is just a 3-week TV event every year.
Oh.
Tell that to their sold-out crowds. Tell that to how many Cougar Tails were sold last night in Provo. Are you going to tell me that basketball at BYU is a 3-week TV event every year? It's not. I don't know. And Ferris, I think you're probably just trolling, but it is what it is. Elaine Tran, BYU is scary. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. It is going to be incredible. I think if BYU can make a run to the state of Utah is a better basketball state when BYU is in the tournament.
Yeah.
Because it just engages a fan base. And by the way, up on the hill, it's not like Utah sucks out loud anymore. I mean, it is. And you look at the Utah women's program. I mean, I think people don't recognize. You look at the Utah women's softball program going to the College World Series last year. You look at the absolute special performances you're getting out of Utah women's basketball, individually and as a team, and you look at the run they made last year. Utah athletics is an absolute behemoth. Look at their gymnastics program. Look at their baseball program finally is rising. You look at men's basketball. You look at football. They're moving. Utah is moving, and they are. The idea that college basketball doesn't matter just tells me exactly what you need to know about Ferris. It's wild. Mad Cat, when this happens, buckle up. The next round of realignment is going to be insane. I think you look at the ACC situation. Everybody's focused on the ACC and Florida State. And you should be, because that will be that's like the hotel room door with that little, metal hook lock thing.
Right.
And then
the doorstop.
Jimmy the criminal just kicks the door down when you open it a crack.
Right.
That's what Florida State's going to do. because I think Florida State's going to negotiate a buyout. I can't remember the exact terminology, but a negotiated separation
Right.
is what it was described to me as. And that is going to open the floodgates because there's no need anymore to have 4 conferences, or there's going to be a God tier, a second tier, and then everybody else.
Yeah.
And that everybody else tier is going to play for their own championship. It is
That's
what it
simple.
is.
It's pretty easy.
That's where the G5's going.
Pretty straightforward.
That's where it's going. And we can all joke about, relegation. I don't know if relegation ever happens. I don't think it's in our lifetime. That's just my opinion. D-Rock Irish. You'll see 3-4 teams from the Big Ten and 3-4 teams from the SEC in the playoff. Perhaps. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's going to be very difficult for the Big Ten to get 3 or 4 teams in.
Yeah, it's a lot.
For that league, that's a lot.
Yeah.
For the SEC, I mean, I think it depends. Do you guys believe in Lane Kiffin? I don't know
What
how
about
you know
Sark?
based on what he's done. And, well, I was just going to say, if you look at Lane Kiffin, the reason that he's so critical is because Ole Miss, I think, represents a point of demarcation, right? Is Ole Miss routinely better than LSU? They're not. So I'm going to move, good old Southern boy, Brian Kelly, and say that Bama, LSU, and Ole Miss are in every year. They're that good, right? I'm going to look at Georgia, and I'm going to say they're in every year. And with all due respect to Dakota and every other Mizzou fan, Missouri's a once every 5-year team.
Yeah, next question.
Okay, what about the Big Ten? Ohio State's in every year.
Yep.
Michigan's going to go through this down period. I think they're going to quickly rebound as soon as their sanctions are done. So let's say for the next 5 years, Michigan gets in once. Okay. Ohio State's in every single year.
Yeah.
Who else in? Oregon is in every single year.
You got to think SC's in 1 or 2 times in the next 5 years.
USC gets in every year. Other than that, I don't think you can say that about Washington. You can't say that about Pedo State. I don't know who else you.
Dude,
What?
it's so casual now. Pedo State.
They want to name the field after Joe Paterno.
Dude.
Grampy Two Knuckles does not deserve. I'm sorry. Joe Paterno facilitated, in my opinion, the assaults and the abuse that happened at Penn State. And I don't even think it's my opinion. The facts, you look at the facts of that, you should not put old man thick Coke bottle glasses on a field. There's no reason to do that. Yet they want to do that. The great facilitator, as I like to call him.
Right.
At Pedo State. Why not name it the Sandusky Football Complex with Joe Paterno Field? Are we too much? Apparently not at Pedo State.
Yeah.
Penn State does not get in every year. They don't. If you look at the Big Ten, it has for the last decade been Ohio State and Michigan. And now Michigan's going to be down for a period, and Ohio State's going to dominate the league.
So what we're really saying is there's only going to be 2 or 3 real spots in this playoff.
I would agree with that. I think there is going to be 2 spots in the Big Ten that go to Oregon and then I think we'll see what USC is. But I have to think 4 out of 5 years USC is going. 4 out of 5 years, Oregon, Ohio State, down the road, Michigan. 4 out of 5 years they're going to the playoff.
But what I'm saying is that, okay, so obviously let's just for conversation's sake say Ohio State's got the auto qualifier for winning the conference. Bama or Georgia is going to get that auto qualifier. Who the hell knows? Let's say Utah gets that auto qualifier.
And Florida State.
In Florida State. Okay, so those are auto qualifiers. And then we're going to add 2 more from the SEC, 2 more from the Big Ten, and 2 more from the Big 12.
I think you're looking at
2 true at-large spots.
Because I don't think you can go with the AP poll. One, I think it's a complete and absolute embarrassment. That's just me. If we go with the college football playoff, right? I think if you go with Washington, I'm not putting them there every year. Texas with Sark, as long as Sark is there, I'm putting Texas in every year.
Yes.
Right? Georgia's in every year. Bama's in every year. Florida State, I don't believe, is in every year. I think Oregon, 4 out of 5 years. I think you're getting 2 from the Big Ten every year. I think you're getting 3 from the SEC every year. I think you're probably going to get another one from the Big 12 because I think that the Big 12 is rising. And I happen to believe that Deion Sanders in 2 years is going to have an elite football program. He's going to be there 5 to 7 years at a minimum. And his job is to get Colorado into the college football playoff. And he's again remade his roster to a much lesser extent. And they're much better than they were last year. So I have to think that they're going to compete for a Big 12 championship because the league really, at the face of the Big 12, as much as people want to tell you the Big 12 is completely different, it's not. It's not a completely different league. And as much as I think people want to insinuate that the Big 12 is somehow so much better, is the Big 12 really, really that much better of a conference? I'm going to say it's not.
No.
Because Arizona and Arizona State bring almost nothing in football. Not right now. And if we're being honest, what are they bringing in college basketball right now? I'm going to say not a whole lot. Right? So is the Big 12 really stronger? No. Is the SEC stronger with OU and Texas? What are we even talking about? Of course it is.
Yep.
Is the Big 10 better with the 4 big Pac-12 teams? Absolutely it is. I don't know. Are you better because you added Utah football? Yes, you are. Are you better because you added Colorado football? Yes, you are. But basketball-wise?
The problem is that adding Utah and Colorado is not recouping what you had in Texas and Oklahoma. That's the problem.
I would agree with that. Now, basketball,
you needed the Arizona schools to be better.
Again, basketball with where Houston is, and I think that's the only reason that Houston is just such a unbelievable win for the Big 12. Because you're number 1 or you're number 2. And you look up and down the list, Arizona's 20-5. You look at Iowa State 20-5, although that was a huge loss to Houston. You look at Kansas. You look at like Baylor. How does Baylor lose to BYU? Oh, that's right, because the Big 12 is an incredible basketball league.
Yeah.
There's not an easy out on the road in the Big 12.
I think the tough part is that, if you're not going to make a ton of money in football, like it has to look like this in basketball. Like you have to, this is why I say the Big 12 has to find its way in terms of playing nice in the sandbox. Like, because I do think there's a clear place for the Big 12 in any college football conversation moving forward, a clear place. They are solid enough from top to bottom to make a difference in the college football playoff picture. There's just no, to me, I just don't think we could get around that. And so when you take that and you combine it with what they do in basketball, they are basketball. They control the power in basketball. And yes, the other conferences have good teams here and there, but you've got the second best team in the country in the Big 12. Like, this is not anything to play with.
And I wonder if Gonzaga being unranked, I wonder how they rebound, because they've had some big losses this year. There's no way to get around that. But here nor there. I think basketball is hugely important. I don't even know that there's much of a conversation to be had about that.
Yeah.
John Hamm, I love the show, but it is basketball. They had less than 4 4-star commits this last recruiting cycle as a conference for football. Great basketball, but it just isn't there for football. What's not there for football?
First of all, let me be the asshole that says learn how to spell the word there in your comment, please. First of all. Second of all, yeah. Are they recruiting at the level that the SEC is? Well, no, of course not. Because if the SEC can get you, you're going to go to the SEC. That's the nature of the business.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the Big 12 isn't going to have a solid season on the football field. And I do think that you're going to find a way to put another team in addition to, let's say, Utah being your conference champion. I do think that happens.
Yeah, I don't agree. Mike Smith, Monty Kiffin's baby boy.
Yeah.
He is, Mount Mama. Remember Monty Kiffin? OG Gary, I think the SEC is good enough to get 6 in this year. You can make a solid argument for 6 teams. Georgia, horns down. See, we did Texas. LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Mizzou.
Man, why are we so hard over Mizzou, dude?
And Tennessee.
Man.
Tennessee was a 500 team last year. You're going to have to prove that.
Yeah, dude. Like
Dakota Tubbs, Darth Drink, Lame Train. But yeah, Monty, Mizzou gets in every 5 years or so. We finally agree. What do you hate about Lane Train? I don't know. Drew Dozer, hello. Dakota also says, I'm glad I made Pedo State Panthers casual on this show. Dude, Pedo State, I've always called them Pedo State, though. But Panthers is interesting. Missouri was a fluke. Elaine Tran chose violence this morning. Payson Cougar fan. Odds are that each team in the P4 Conference Championship game will have a very good chance of getting into the college football playoff. I would agree with that. Unless you're Iowa last year.
Glad you guys play defense. That's cool.
They don't play offense.
Yeah.
Zesty Retro in Game says, go Rolls.
Go Rolls.
Kansas City Rolls.
Rolls.
Does anybody watch Rolls games? Did George Brett have a good year at the plate last year? What about Frank White? You don't even know who those people are.
Is Zach Greinke still there?
Shut up. Steve Stepanek. His wife was a lot younger than Joe Paterno. Okay.
We're not seriously rehashing Pedo State stories.
No, we're not. James, Penn State. Who's Penn State?
Bro.
I've never heard of them.
If you, and I haven't
Is that
seen
a
the
D2
comment,
school?
if you roll out here with a Penn State Stadium comment.
Oh, that's what it. Pedo State Stadium is the ugliest stadium in college football.
Hi, this is James. Welcome back.
I'm so glad they're going to renovate. Why not just tear the thing down and stop playing football, which is what should have happened, decades ago.
Yeah.
Hope Sandusky's comfortable in that cell. The Sandusky Shower Complex at Paterno Playground. Easy.
Dude.
Good Lord.
Dude.
Good Lord. Good Lord. Elaine Tran, you mentioned Michigan State. I just might fall asleep. Michigan State. Jonathan Smith, it's going to take 2 years. He's as much as said so because they're just not talented. That's the biggest issue. Zesty says, how do you think the Jayhawks will be this year in basketball? I mean, they're no St. Mary's, but they'll do.
Right.
I think they're always good in. Do you mean football?
They're always competitive.
In football? They'll be fine. It's a matter of, man, who's coming to my door already?
Hey, man. The
who
Girl Scouts already at the front door, man.
Who's coming to the Monty crib at this early hour? Let's see. It is raining still. Dude, what is up with all the rain in this country? I think Kansas is a tournament team. They're 21-6, I think. I mean, they're elite in basketball always, as long as, Bill Selfless is alive. Steve, if Notre Dame joins the conference, will they double dip TV rights? They will not. They cannot.
Notre Dame, our mother.
Because if they join a conference, they
grant their rights. Oh,
thank you. Robert Fowler, Big Ten gets 3 every year. We'll see about that. Matt Ritson, UC Fubo TV sues Disney and ESPN and Fox college streaming. Could be. Fubo. I did not see that, actually. Mike Smith, block the Michigan troll. Yeah, we don't read his comments. Shai Sang, end of college football. It very well could be the end of college football as we know it. There's no doubt about it. Elaine Tran, I said Houston was winning the Big 12, and I was laughed at.
Well, they didn't win the Big 12 on the football.
You got fun. You did. You did say that.
Dana.
Dana. Who's crying now, Mike Smith says. Yeah, Creighton's very good. How did UConn lose by that volume? Did anybody see that? How do you lose 85-66? You're the number 1 team in the country.
You played like junk.
They hadn't lost, I want to say, since December to Seton Hall. We're past Valentine's Day. Leap year's coming. And now you lose to Creighton?
Because it's garbage.
And again, don't sell Creighton. I think Creighton is one of the most undersold teams. Granted, they're 15th in the country. Monty, how can they be undersold? They're ranked in the top 25, Monty. I still think they're undervalued.
Yeah.
And now, on Saturday, I think it is, you got to bounce back against what is always a game Villanova team.
Yeah.
And that trip on March 6th to Marquette looks like it is going to be, that could be a massive tilt for UConn now. I mean, huge. Absolutely huge. John Hamm, sorry, typing this while in the shower.
Dude, what are we doing, man? Is that supposed to be some low-key pedo state joke, or what are we doing?
Stay hard.
Yeah, like what do you mean you're typing in the shower, dude? Are you wearing your Vision Pro in the shower? Is that what this is, dude? What are we doing?
Vision Pro. Are you wearing your Vision Pro in the shower,
Hey,
boy?
Monty?
Hey, Monty. I got my Vision Pro on. Mike Smith. Texting while showering is illegal in most states. Think of the kids, damn it. Exactly right. Exactly right. Said nobody ever at Penn State. OG Gary.
Damn.
Nothing?
Damn.
The only reason I'm advocating the advocates, theadvocates.com, for Mizzou, this head is one.
This head is one? Gary, dude.
The only reason I'm advocating for Mizzou, this head is one.
The cack.
Bro, Gary, what's going on, man?
Dakota is my boy, and 2, Mizzou has a cupcake-ass schedule. I don't see how they lose more than 2 games.
Man, Dakota's been giving you that good, bro. I didn't know you were a Mizzou fan, though.
I mean, is there anything you guys want to talk about on the show?
Yeah,
or?
like, do you guys need to need to make an announcement? Do we need an official comment section press release, or?
I mean, I
I mean, what are we doing here, guys? I mean, I don't listen. This is a PG-13 show. This is a family show. So if you guys are having relations, I don't know that we need to bring that up.
Dude, they're kinfolk. Relax.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College, Vandy. At Texas A&M. At Massachusetts.
Boston.
Home for Auburn.
Yeah.
At Alabama. Oklahoma. At South Carolina. At Mississippi State. And then home for Arkansas. It's a pretty cupcake schedule.
Yeah.
Pretty cupcake schedule. I would agree with that. How does Apple change year to head?
Bro, what is it with you and head this morning, dude? Damn.
Do you want to go back to bed? I mean, that's okay.
Holden Middick.
You see what you guys do? Like, oh, yeah, hey, Monty, I'm texting in the shower.
Mike Smith, Apple wants head? Yes. Yes. Pacing Cougar fan, how many teams will be in the 2026 college football playoff? I think you could see an expansion. I don't know how you don't at this point. Fat Jesus. Penn State Stadium has a strange feel to it.
See what he did there? Strange feel.
Oak State James. I respect Lance Leipold for not leaving KU. He could have gone to Michigan State, but stayed
Hi,
put.
this is James. Welcome back.
I think that's a good point. Big Daddy Vladdy to unalive Bill Self is what my orders were from the Russian Foreign Service this morning. Unalive. Dude, did you just talk about murdering a college basketball coach because he's better than you?
He's an assassin.
He's a better man than you are.
Yeah.
Wasanakowski. NBC has a Notre Dame clause in their contract with the Big Ten. Right, because NBC's got the Big Ten. But the problem is, you're not going. You've got to unalive yourself from the ACC.
Yeah.
And there's only one way that happens, if the ACC gets murked. If the ACC goes away, I can see it happening. It is not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, in my opinion. Boyd Lake. It was a friggin' blowout in Omaha.
Omaha.
It was. I am stunned. UConn's level of want to was a little surprising. Kevin Ollie be damned. Lack thereof. Tanner Plummer. Wait a second. I thought the Monties don't watch college basketball before March. Hey, Monty.
Monty?
Monty, you watching college basketball, boy? No. You oughta. Why don't you watch games, boy? We do. It auto-corrected OG Gary. He meant year. I'm sure it's listen. It's not what he meant to say. It's only what he did say.
It's not what Jerry meant to do, bro. It's only what he did do. Okay?
Or who? Anyway.
Damn.
Dakota, I call and tell Gary I love him every day, kind of like Jake did.
I get it.
I don't retract my love like Two Holes does for James.
Is it possible that they could ride the D?
Wow. Okay. Mike Smith, Jakey Twoholes should not rip on relations, especially since he told James he loves him and then ghosted him. Right?
Dude, I'm not the one out here talking about head in the comment section, okay? That's not me, okay? Just so we're all on the same page, that's not me. I didn't do that.
We used to have such a good show. You know, Two Masta brings up Morehead State. Is the notion of Morehead State in the tournament? Is the notion of Morehead State in the tournament tough to swallow?
Bro, dude.
Go play intramurals, brother.
Dude, what are you doing out here right now, bro? I love how he worded this too. The notion of Morehead State
in the tournament, tough to swallow. LOL. No, I was apologizing for spelling their wrong since it upset you. Put some clothes on. Elaine, what happened to this show today? Elaine Tran, Dakota, a Trump supporter? Yes. What do you knew?
What really do we have to lose?
And listen, we work hard on this show to get people appropriate gifts for their birthday.
Right.
I want you to know, Dakota.
Dakota.
We're going to talk about that shoe.
So I said, yeah.
$7,000. Mike Smith, Monty Morning Show brought to you by Hiscock.
Right.
Hiscock.
Anita Dick and Ming.
Yeah.
I tried to
Yeah, you know, we all like to do whatever we want in the comments section. That much is very clear today.
D-Rock Irish, morning shows rock, apparently. Drew Dozer, macaque, exactly.
Yeah, dude. I mean, who's got... I don't think that there's going to be a comment that tops the notion of Morehead State is tough to swallow.
I don't... How would you? Mad Cat, this is going to be one of those shows, apparently. Tanner Plummer, don't try to hack our elections against Dakota. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. You know, I don't know. It just is what it is. OG Gary, I throw my arrowhead at Dakota all the time, Cupid style. Why the innuendo?
Which is, you know, just kind of weird.
Yeah. Steve Stepanek, will the Gamecocks make the turn?
We really did.
Wow.
How many other ones can you guys come up with, bro?
OG Garrow burrows his head real deep. Stop!
Arrowhead my ass!
God. You're not funny. That's not funny. That is funny. All right. The Monty Show is presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, where you can always get a free consultation because you never pay the Advocates out of pocket. Never. Not one time are the Advocates going to say, hey, scratch me a check. Hey, we're going to need... It doesn't work that way at the Advocates. See, because you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. And again, I say, with all the rain, with all of the weather issues in this country, it is beyond bizarre. If you're somebody in Boise, if you're in Las Vegas, you are drenched.
Lost wages.
If you're in the GZ, if you are in Phoenix, like the rain that we have gotten has been unbelievable this year. The roads are slick. There's a lot of oil in desert communities where there's not usually rain. It's going to cause accidents. It's not your fault you got rear-ended. It's not your fault that trucker was going too fast and hit you. You didn't deserve an accident, but you do deserve an advocate at theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. The biggest stories in sports today, as always, a college football playoff approves a 5-7 model where we are now going to get the 4 highest ranked conference champions and the highest ranked G5 conference champion auto bid into the college football playoff, and then the next 7 highest ranked teams. But will that be the setup, or will the Big Ten and the SEC make college football history today when the managers meet today? The playoff management committee is going to meet today, and it is expected that the SEC and the Big Ten are going to ask for more spots and more money. Jake, do you believe that they get more spots and more money?
I just don't know how they wouldn't get more spots and more money. They have all the leverage. They've got all the ammunition they need to go out and get this type of request done. And again, I think you have to consider who's asking. I mean, again, if it was the Big 12 or the ACC asking, yeah, you're probably not getting that done. But because it is the Big 10 and the SEC, because they have been the ones to dominate the college football playoff, because frankly, they're the ones that control the money in college football in the big picture, they have every right to ask for more. So to me, yeah, I do think that it will be granted. I do think that we come out of today with some type of maybe, I don't know if it's a final decision today, but I certainly would expect momentum forward. Absolutely. And maybe we do get a final decision. But the point is, I do not expect it to be, no, that's not happening. I don't think that's the direction we're heading. We are definitely heading for, hey, the biggest and baddest in college football are going to play in a God tier. And there's going to be a ton of money attached to that. And it's the natural evolution, right? Like, obviously, because you are the biggest and baddest schools in college football, you're going to attract more advertising dollars, more TV time, basically just more of everything. So again, to me, this is a very reasonable ask. And for the Big Ten, what's really interesting is this dynamic of, yeah, you haven't been the best football conference top to bottom, but you've done enough, right? You've been in the college football playoff regularly, and you've got the money. So I don't know how you get around that fact. They control college football, and that's why I do believe this would get done.
Yeah, I think it's hard to ignore the influence that the SEC and the Big Ten have. I don't think there's any doubt. And I think the other thing here is, how much consideration does the college football playoff committees and the managers, how much consideration do they give the G5? Are we at a point in history now where we're just going to write the G5 off into their own championship? Because I think that's one of the only solutions here. And it is why I think you had the Pac-12 too fighting so hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, some of the conversations I had yesterday around what enabled the college football playoff to get this 5-7 vote to a unanimous level. You know, people are saying that there was a negotiation behind the scenes, and that instead of $6 million a piece, that the Pac-2 are going to get $8 million a piece.
Right.
And that they were essentially given $4 million in total for the next 2 years to take a hike. And I think it's a very interesting dynamic because, as Kirk Schultz says, and as we've been telling you since really October, Kirk Schultz was never going to be able to stand in the way of the college football playoff going to a 5-7 because he doesn't have the leverage of the relationships. And the one relationship he has that he really needs is the Mountain West.
Right.
Because a 5-7 gives the Mountain West a better chance, albeit still slim, gives the Mountain West and other G5s the opportunity to put two teams into the college football playoff. Does that continue? I struggle with this. Right. And I think a lot of the people we talk to in college football and in the TV industry, they struggle with it.
Well, I just think there's such an opportunity to elongate the playoff season for college football. Like, you know, you look at,
certainly,
you know, you look at college basketball, and, you know, even if it was a tongue-in-cheek comment, like, you know, the 3 weeks we get of the bracket, like, that's a great 3 weeks for college football fans, but you're also talking about 3 weeks. So when I look at college football, I say, okay, you know, obviously we have bowl season, but the bowls are really just kind of blah. Like, nobody really gives a damn. Like, the biggest thing that I remember from
December
bowl season,
bowl games.
Yeah, like the biggest thing I remember is the Pop-Tart Bowl, where all that stuff happened. The players ate the Pop-Tart. Okay, cool. That's fun.
Or Caleb, like in the comments section yesterday when we were talking about Caleb Williams in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Oh, he was crying after a bowl game. Why do we care about that? Why do we care that he missed a bowl game? Or I think we have to stop valuing December bowls and put more value on the college football playoff bowls.
Yeah, and I think we need to elongate the New Year's Six series, if you will. We need to take the environment that's created in the New Year's Six bowls and we need to elongate that, and we need
more games of leverage.
Yeah, and we need to. That's where I think the G5 conversation comes in, because yes, the G5 is not going to go out and beat an SEC or a Big Ten team, or frankly even mid to upper tier Big 12 team. With all due respect, you're not beating them. So if we can take the G5s and we can give them an opportunity to lose to the big boys and then go out and compete for a championship at their own level, that's a great thing for the sport.
And I think this again, I bring back the ACC question. If the ACC somehow dissolves, and I am one of the people, especially after a couple of conversations I had this week about what happens if the ACC and Florida State, they find a road to come to a negotiated separation. Are you really telling me UNC is going to hang around for that? Are you really telling me that Duke's going to hang around for that? Are you really telling me that Clemson as a football university is going to hang around for that? Because you look at what's at stake at Florida State. If they wind up paying the ACC, and again, I've been told it's $300 million at a minimum. If they pay the ACC $300 million to walk away, I think it is going to be very difficult for North Carolina and Duke to just hang around.
Yeah, I don't think you can just hang around, as those are two power brands, and they've taken a step forward. And I know, Riley Leonard leaves Duke, I get it, but you still have big improvements happening in those two on the football field.
But the Big Ten, as it's been described to me, is desperate for basketball. They know that they are missing a massive chunk of revenue because they're not getting a significant tournament share.
Yeah, and obviously, UNC and Duke are great fits in the Big Ten. I think we all agree on that. That's not really a difficult thing to understand, but I do think that, when you look at the ACC, the question of, okay, if everyone's going to leave the ACC, if the ACC melts down, that's just encouraging the God tier setup. Hey, let's move away from conferences. Let's have tiers in college football, and we'll schedule out of those tiers. And what used to be non-con games, will now be, hey, there's a requirement that as part of your 12-game football schedule, you got to have 2 G5s on there, let's say, or you got to have this or that. That's what they're gonna. That is why, if you remember, we're in February. Last month in early January, we talked about, hey, this idea that Charlie Baker's rolling out this concept of what he called a subdivision, what we're calling a God tier. That's why they did it, because they can see the storm brewing in the ACC after what happened out west in the Pac-12.
It is the only way to satiate the G5 and the have-nots in the P4. It's the only way, because it keeps your conferences together, and it allows these universities that want to play at this higher, more expensive level, it allows them to thrive, and it does not crush the lower tier. And I think when you look at the ability of a Minnesota to take the money that they leverage in the college football landscape through this NBC, this massive Fox NBC TV deal in the Big Ten, I don't know. Does a Minnesota, does a Purdue, does an Indiana? I mean, you think about the lesser teams in the SEC. Does Vandy ever make it into a God tier? I don't think so, because again, the one thing that is so striking about the Big Ten and the SEC when you compare the two, the SEC is so damn dominant on the field.
Yeah.
And they make so much less in TV money than the Big Ten, who's not dominant on the field.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's so shocking to me. The Big Ten, I understand it. You've got, the supposed $100 million windfall. I totally get that. But if you're the SEC is the one who I think has really been driving this ship, because they have clarity that they can't do this on their own. And I think they recognize that if they go and they try to do a cash grab, all that's going to do is either make them more money and give them more access, or create a God tier. Because you can't tell me that the Big 12 is just gonna sit by and idly watch this happen.
No, and I respectfully, with the God tier setup, I think you need the Big 12 just by sheer volume of teams included in the whole concept. You can't just have you can't just have 24 teams and that's it. If you're just going to combine these two conferences, like that's not enough teams. You need more in the upper division to make it all work. And that's why I say I think the Big 12 will always have a spot, and it really helps you. And again, this is what we talked about with George Kliavkoff in the Pac-12. Just the same way it hurts the Pac-12 and continues to with what George Kliavkoff did and didn't do as a commissioner, it helps and pushes forward the Big 12 that Brett Yormark knows how to do business and knows how to be creative and find solutions.
I look at this meeting today, and I think the other thing, and I know several people in the comment section have said this, and let me see if I can find Ward Manuel being the chair now. Robert Fowler, there you go. Ward Manuel being the chair of the College Football Playoff Management Committee, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because, again, I think Michigan is going to struggle for the next several years to get into the college football playoff. I think they're going to have a tough time, and we'll find out again. September 21st, I think, is a huge day.
But hasn't that always been the messaging and the brand from the Big Ten? Hey, even if we're struggling, we're still making more money than you. We're still in
absolutely.
control.
Yeah, and Michigan's going to get their TV money no matter what, right? But I think the Big Ten sitting on top of the totem pole right now in the committee makes a difference. I think it matters. So we'll see how it all plays out. Boss Frog, good morning to you with a $100 donation.
Appreciate you, dude.
Thank you. Overdue on my Monty dues. Here's a C-note to support the show and allow me to torment Tanner in the group chat. You guys, our Monty members only Instagram chat is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It has been. Now Dakota shows up and, we forgive him. Maybe the word is tolerant. No, I'm kidding. Guys like Dakota Tubbs, Tanner Plummer, Boss Frog, OG Gary's in there. I mean, all the heavyweights are in there.
Yes.
Which is why I'm in there. It's a weight
thing.
But it's a phenomenal group of dudes. Hit the join button. Join our members only content. DM Jake. He'll get you into the members only Instagram chat. It is a phenomenal group of guys.
Yeah, we're doing prize picks in here right now.
We are. Yes, we appreciate Joseph Harper, the king of all prize picks.
Yes.
But we appreciate guys like Boss Frog who support the show, because we can't do this show without you guys. I think you've seen our business model is changing. We are back in mornings, and we are far less focused on our partnerships as we really focus on our content now. And I think that's exactly where we've wanted to go, and we've talked to a lot of you about that. That's the other thing. We always reach out to our members only group. We kind of have we have our own Monty Show management committee,
right?
Whether you know it or not. But join the members only group, support the show. We appreciate that. We always appreciate your tips. Anytime a guy like Boss Frog gives us $100, we put it right back into the infrastructure of the show. All of your membership dues, whether it's $9.99 a month or $1.99 a month, go right back into the infrastructure of the show for things like wall wraps, better lighting. We really appreciate that right here on the Monty Show. So thank you for that. Boss Frog, always good to see you. When are we gonna get back out and golf?
Yeah, man. Well, we have already golfed. I mean, it's when is Boss going to join us,
Yeah, because he did not join us. Well, we worked together.
Kind of.
I was F-bombing, though.
He did a ride along. Yeah,
we need to get Darren Ingram. We need to get together this weekend.
Yeah.
Gotta get the swing tune. Because we got some big golf coming up. We're going to spring training in the middle of March. Looking at Greyhawk on that trip. Going down to Copper Rock in St. George. Love some Copper Rock golf the first weekend of March. Got some big golf coming up. So we need to get with Darren Ingram. No finer PGA professional. You need a teacher. Darren does great virtual lessons. He does great video work. I cannot say enough about Darren Ingram. Also in our members only group. On Instagram, Funky Ingram. What's his name on Instagram? I want to make sure I get it right. There's a number in there, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it's Funky Ingram 7.
I think that is probably true.
That's correct.
But Darren is the PGA pro up at
Funky
Canyons.
Ingram 007.
There you go. Darren Ingram is the PGA pro and the director of golf up at Canyons Golf in Park City, which is our home course all summer long. We've played with a bunch of our listeners up at Canyons. We love doing that. But if you're somebody looking for golf lessons, you guys, there's no better teacher. Darren Ingram absolutely changed my game. And if you want yards off the tee, if you want better iron play, that guy has absolutely changed my swing.
Yeah.
So I am stoked to get back out, but good to see you. Hey, real quick before we get too far away, let me read some of your college football comments because we do need to get to Dak and his $60 million contract.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Mike Smith, long time no see. Miss you, Mo. That sounds like a bad song. Miss you, Mo. Exactly right. Phenomenal Hebrew. My guy, where have you been?
So, dude.
Phenomenal. Good to see you, man. Dakota Tubbs, Miss You, Mo. Sounds like a sound that South Park would write with some super twangy country accent. Miss you, Mo. Exactly right. Hey, Monty. Brandon Butler, I punch way above my weight class. I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that. I also wish very well tonight. Wish you all the best. All of our Real Salt Lake opens their season tonight.
Oh, Monty, how is Real not on the backdrop, man? How did it not make the graphic, man?
It didn't make it intentionally. Real in Inter Miami, Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
His Adidas line got crushed yesterday on its release. Those Sambas are sweet, though. Real and Inter tonight. So good luck to all of my RSL supporters. Appreciate you. RJC, man, bottom line, Notre Dame is the outlier everyone seems to not mention because the power they yield will implode the Big 12. I don't know how they implode the Big 12, but I think there's only one place they're going. It's the Big 10. They have always said that the Big 10 is their football home if they're ever going to join a conference.
Yeah.
And if the SEC and the Big 10 are successful today in this meeting, I think there's no choice. This is what we've always talked about with Notre Dame. Remember, access to the playoff, TV money, and scheduling. Well, now access to the playoff is very limited for them. If the Big 10 and the SEC grab 2 more spots, it's very limited. And any way you slice it, they've got to win 4 games now. So it's going to be a longer road. That's why you play the games, Jake. That's right. D-Rock. College football playoff quarters, 12-31, 1-game fiesta. 1-1, 3 games, Peach Rose Sugar Bowl. I think we got to get to 16.
Yeah.
In a minimum. But I think December football has to matter in college.
Yes.
And the layoff, I think, is too much. Listen, if you're one of the conference champions, you deserve a bye week. You do. But the month of December being 0 games is too much, in my opinion. Big Blue Horses. Manar. Who's the worst MLB owner? Oh, it is Fisher with the there's no doubt it's Fisher with the A's. The guy does not want to win. Period. He does not. Go Astros. Hell no.
Come on, guy.
Shohei is a freak of baseball genetics. Oh, and it's about loyalty and not just a job. Okay, there's a lot in that. The Cubs don't spend money, period. They don't. And now they own part of the PGA Tour. Congratulations. It's like Ryan Smith and the Utah Jazz. They don't spend money. They're not going to spend money that it requires to win. If they happen to trip and fall into a playoff run, great. You traded away your 2 biggest contracts and did not replace that money.
Yeah. Cody
Bellinger is just sitting out there waiting to sign with the Cubs. Has said he wants to be a Cub. They're not even negotiating with him. According to Tom Ricketts, the sit on your wallet guy that owns the Cubs. You know, RJC, man, Notre Dame is a New York school, Holmes. Okay. OG Gary, Notre Dame is a perfect fit for the Big 10. They have USC and Michigan as rivals and probably will add Stanford later on down the road. I don't disagree with that at all. Thoughts about the Royals tying up Bobby Witt Jr.? I think it's the only move you could make, and you're getting a new stadium.
And I think it's always good to have a franchise player. It's always good to have someone that's making the most money, that's the most marketable, that that Kansas City can get behind. I was actually in Kansas City when he signed that deal. Rolls. And people were excited about it.
Like, a certain somebody in your life is a big Royals fan.
Yeah. And, so everyone was all excited about that. And that's cool. Bobby Witt Jr., that's cool. That's cool.
Whatever. It pisses me off that I did not pick Aiden Hill last night on Taco Tuesday. I actually stayed away from it. It cashed. Okay. Why did I do that? I love Prize Picks, but the worst thing you can do on Prize Picks, is not download the app and use a promo code Monty. You get 100% deposit matching. PrizePicks.com. The NBA is back tomorrow.
Finally.
Can't wait.
Finally.
I love Prize Picks hockey, and Aiden Hill was the Taco Tuesday on saves yesterday, and I was like,
Hey, you want to do some Call of Duty today, dude?
Shut up. I got ass blasted on Call of Duty last time around. I'm not even kidding.
I got
Janus.
ass blasted, bro.
I did. I do some Call of Duty.
Oh, look at it. Look at this one right here. Look at this special on Prize Picks. Lionel Messi and Austin Matthews 1.5 goals.
Austin Matthews has been red hot.
Now you got to
have
more.
to play that.
I'm gonna say more on that right there.
PrizePicks.com. Use the promo code Monty. Get 100% deposit matching. Do it. It takes 3 minutes. Download the app. Put in the promo code Monty. You put in $10. They'll give you 10 more. You got $20 to play with. You can play for a year on $20. And if you're Joseph Harper, that is what you win every single day or more.
Yeah,
it's wild. Before we get to you want to go Dak or Stephen A? Let's go Dak.
Okay.
I'm not in the mood for the Stephen A conversation today.
Yeah.
Would you pay Dak Prescott $60 million a year? While you hit the like button and get in the link to get the Monty Show merch, because everybody asked us for merch, sweatshirts, t-shirts, the beanie.
Gas.
Dude, the beanie is gas. Monty Show merch link in the description below. Hit the like button. Would you pay Dak Prescott $60 million a year? I think this is a fascinating discussion because what choice do you have? And I know every Dallas Cowboy fan's like, hey, Monty, he sucks. Okay, if not Dak, then who? And I'm serious about this. If we're going to play the Dak Prescott sucks card, and I know Cowboy fans love to play that. Monty, he's not a big game quarterback. Okay, then who? Then who? Who are you going to go and get? Well, we'll get Patty Mahomes. Yeah, I don't think he's available. You don't have access to a quarterback that is better than Dak Prescott. Now, do you want to pay Dak $60 million? I don't either. But you're not going to find a better replacement. Now, if you want to make the argument, hey, I'm not paying a quarterback $60 million because we're going to lose depth and we're not going to win, I'm here for that. Let's make salad out of that thing because I would agree with you. I don't think a quarterback is worth $60 million, not on a roster where you already don't win and you're already struggling, because when you pay that quarterback $60 million, you're going to struggle for depth. But there's one thing that Dallas Cowboy fans better get through your heads. Dak Prescott is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and it's not a matter of if Dak wins the Super Bowl. I believe it's more a matter of where will he be when he wins the Super Bowl. Because I think Jera's going to Jera. I would also remind you he's out of franchise tagging options. You're going to pay him or he's going to walk. And I think there's a very good chance Jerry Jones is going to pay Dak Prescott. But Jake, would you pay him $60 million?
Yeah, I mean, I would, because of everything you just said, right? I mean, there's not a better replacement. There's not another option. And Dak's not going to take less. And look, I'm not the guy that's going to sit here and blame these guys for not taking less. I was always a big proponent of when Tom Brady first rolled out the, hey, I'm going to take less because I want to win factor and strategy. I'm a big fan of that, but Dak's got to be willing to do that. So would I pay him? Yeah. Do I want to pay him? No, not really. No, I think that this guy is someone who can get you to the playoffs, but is just for whatever reason, not able to get over the hump. And I'm not saying it's all on Dak, but my God, if you're going to be paying someone $60 million, there's going to be a little bit more of it on you, Dak. There's more responsibility at that point. So, yeah, I probably would pay him. Yeah, I probably would. I would do it with resentment. I would do it reluctantly.
I would do it with resentment.
Yeah, I would. I would
do it.
Yeah,
with
I would.
resentment.
You look around the NFC and I sit here and I say, hey, dude, you lost to Jordan Love. And,
right, but
and this is where we always disagree. You want to say it's the defense. You want to say it's not all on Dak. It's not all on Dak.
It was CeeDee Lamb.
Okay, cool. It doesn't almost matter who it's on when you're paying dude $60 million.
I agree.
Bro.
If you pay Dak Prescott $60 million, he better be the goddamn reason that you win. But don't you need to add Saquon Barkley? I thought a phenomenal point from Mike Florio at ProFootballTalk.com yesterday. When we're talking about spending money on that roster, are you telling me that there is a better fit in free agency or the trade market than Saquon Barkley for the Dallas Cowboys? Man, what you looking at on your phone?
I'm looking at a certain individual who might or might not be a TCU fan. asking me about some membership issues. So I was just viewing his request.
We have membership issues?
Yeah, apparently Mo's membership expired.
Well, we got fixed it.
Yeah,
We'll take care of
he's
it.
like he goes. This is why I love, not to get sidetracked. This is why I love certain individuals on the show. Because I'm the guy that handles membership on the show. So some people be like, "Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty. Hey, man. My membership expired. Do I still have to pay to be in the group?" And then there's guys like Mo who's like, he's like, "What the F, man? My membership expired. How did this happen? I deserve to be in the group." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I want you in the group. Like, I don't know how it happened, dude. Like, I don't know what you want me to say, dude. Just renew it. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do, bro?"
Is there? You would not be surprised how many people are like, "I don't understand what happened to my membership. Why did my membership expire?" Well, because it's called business. I don't know. I ask YouTube. Anyway, Saquon Barkley's a great fit for them.
Yeah, they haven't been the same team since that prime Zeke year where they had the offensive line and they were just road grading teams. And I don't know what ails the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know why you can't, like, the Packer loss is the loss that it's unforgivable. It's unacceptable. It is everything you can't be as a Dallas Cowboy. Like, they should have won that game by 10 points. And you wind up losing by whatever that margin was. A lot. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how you explain that. So if you're Jerry Jones, you're sitting up in your office putting way too much salt on your McGriddle.
You're in your feelings.
You're sitting here being like, dude, I'm the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not rebuilding this thing, but I'm also not winning Super Bowls. I am in the worst spot you can be in sports.
Yeah.
I'm very good. I'm playoff good, but I'm not good enough to win a championship or even compete for a championship. That's the problem. So yeah, if you're Jerry Jones, yeah, at your advanced age with not, a lot of years left, yeah, I'd probably pay him.
I think you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice. But I think you have to also go and supplement a guy like a Saquon Barkley. Yeah. I think you have to add that. I don't know how you don't. Delaric says if you do $60 million, only 2 years guaranteed on a 5-year deal, he's never going to go for that. Because he knows you have no recourse. Because you can't tag him.
What did Lamar Jackson get?
Too much money.
This is a very simple conversation if you're Dak Prescott. Oh, Lamar Jackson got, I believe it was 4 years, fully guaranteed.
I don't know how do you how?
By the way,
how?
By the way, screw Lamar Jackson. Hey, Deshaun Watson got all that money fully guaranteed. I want nothing less. Nothing less.
Yeah, I don't know how you see
what I mean?
He got $260 million with an out after 2027. He got $208 million guaranteed on a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
And man, after the 2026 season, they'd have $35.1 million dead.
Okay, so that's Lamar's deal. Now let's look at Deshaun's deal. Because this is what Dak's representatives are going to do. They're going to say, hey, MVP in Lamar, 2-time MVP in Lamar now has this money. He is not that much better than what Dak is. It's not on Dak that we didn't get to the NFC Championship game.
Dak's a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
And everybody agrees with that.
You're good. Do you guys understand the money? Man, why did you have to bring this up?
This is my point.
Lamar Jackson in 2026 is going to make $51.25 million in base.
He's making 51 in base. And you're telling me that there's hesitation to pay Dak 60? By the way,
they've got to win,
bro,
right now.
By the way,
jeez.
The concept and conversation around, hey, I got to quote reset the market for my future guys is absolutely at play if you're Dak Prescott. Don't tell me that Dak Prescott is not like, hey, I have the opportunity to go out and set a new baseline, because what's going to happen? Dak's going to get 60, Patty's going to get 70, and whoever the next MVP is, your boy, Justin Herbert, because I think that time's coming. If it all works out, guys like Justin Herbert are next.
Totally agree.
And by the way, if Joe Burrow would stay healthy, he might be next too.
RJ Seaman, I need some commentary on the show schedule, boys. Can't let it go. I'm that guy. We do mornings. There's your commentary.
Yeah, what's the issue?
We
What's the
have
question,
a
bro?
project in the afternoon that presented itself and an opportunity, and we could not take it. Could not take it. Couldn't pass on
can't skip it.
You're not going to pass on it. We're doing mornings. I know a lot of people are not. A lot of our afternoon guys are like, I can't believe you're doing mornings, bro.
And do you really think that? Quick sidebar. Do you really think that we would rather start the show with 40 people watching than 1,500? No,
We're rebuilding. It is what it is.
It just is what it is.
Drew does her. Monty, if you and the old lady, honey, are still in the market for an EV, we have $7,500 off, and that's the minimum discount. If I knew how to DM on YouTube, I'd hit you up. Hit me on Instagram.
Yeah, dude. Monty Show. Hey, Monty.
Monty, the Monty Show.
Yeah, DM.
We are absolutely in the market.
Where you at? What dealership?
If she's not, what do you sell? Tell me.
Where are you?
I forgot. Tell me where you are. Tell me what you do. Phenomenal Hebrew. Anyone who drafts Penix or Michael Pratt, you have a plug-and-play quarterback the first year. Michael Penix, see Hebrew?
Yeah, another conversation.
This is why we value you. I agree on Michael Penix. I think Michael Penix is that guy you can just throw him the football and he'll be like, cool, man. And he'll jog out there. He'll lead the huddle and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
He is supposedly a voracious viewer of tape. He is a preparation master, apparently.
If Dak Prescott is going to get 60, what's Brock Purdy getting?
Jeez.
Who's
already been to He's been to the Heights.
Super Bowl. He's
won.
been further than Dak.
Yeah,
now, he hasn't won. He hasn't won. But very clearly, especially this past year, this past Super Bowl, he was not the reason you lost the game.
Well, and Brandon Butler makes a really good point. If I'm Jera, I would pry Josh Jacobs from the Raiders.
There's that.
Had an underwhelming season last year, but didn't everybody?
You need a running back. There's no question. You cannot just continue to lean on
Saquon Barkley's that dude. I mean, I think he is. I think Saquon Barkley is the absolute perfect fit.
And by the way, he'd be one of those signings that if you sign him and he gets hurt, that's not on you. Like it's a
Brandon.
It's a win-win.
I think you're exactly right. I thought being the Dallas QB was a pay raise in itself, so taking less wasn't a big deal. Said no Dallas QB ever.
Yeah.
RJC man, how do you know if membership is current? See this S is you problem. Fix that. Well, because you're current because you have a logo next to your name.
Yeah.
Is Boss Frog really expired? I'd be surprised by that. I'd be really surprised. I guess he is, yeah. Or was. I'd be surprised by that. San Diego State, where will he be when he wins the Super Bowl? Oh, spicy. How good will Jim Harbaugh make the LA Chargers?
Very good.
I think he makes Justin Herbert a much better quarterback.
I think if they're ever in a game to win the division with the Chiefs, I think that the way they win that game is because they're going to be a tougher team.
Well,
that's
and
what I think.
I also think, and I took a lot of heat from Charger fans when I said this, but there's no bigger fan of Justin Herbert than mine. I think you guys know
you've been
that.
evangelizing for years.
He needs to improve.
Yeah.
He is a step and throw quarterback, and that doesn't work in the NFL. And his mechanics could certainly be better.
Yeah.
His reading and his ability to read a defense pre-snap and post-snap, because, and you guys don't probably give a rat's ass about this, your pre-snap read is not your post-snap read, because they're showing you one thing pre-snap and doing another post-snap. And in my opinion, they've got to upgrade the running back spot in Los Angeles with the Chargers, and you've got to get him an offensive line that can keep him upright.
Yeah, no question.
And I think if you do those two things and he improves his mechanics, he's going to be far better. Wasikowski, I'm starting to think Goff is on the cheap if Detroit re-signs him. The problem with Jared Goff is I think he's good. He's not great.
Yeah.
And he's not the guy that you can heap the entire team on his back and he'll take you there. He's always going to take the conservative read.
But here's the problem for Detroit in terms of money. Again, if Dak gets 60, Goff, even a guy like Jared Goff, has the ability to say, hey, I'm 35 plus at least.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Jared Goff is going to want to try to eclipse 40.
Oh, I think that's absolutely the truth.
Which used to be, you remember 40 was Tom Brady time, right? I remember talking about, hey, should you pay Tom Brady 40 a year?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yes.
So, I just think the market's going to continue to go up, and we see it in baseball. The difference is in baseball, there's just so much more money spent.
Yeah, but I think, Eric, to your point on the Lions, you've got to get better on the back end. You cannot continue to give up these big plays in big moments. You cannot continue to have a talent like Aiden Hutchinson in that linebacker core and then just get your ass beat down the middle of the field.
Yeah.
You're giving up these big plays behind the linebacker. And I don't know, is that schematics? I don't think it is. I think their scheme's solid. I just think that when you have those DBs turning and running, because they know they're not quick enough to stay with the very best. You miss Slay. I don't think there's any doubt about that. You've got to get better on the back end of that defense. It is to me what is imperative in Detroit. Jared Goff is not certainly going to carry you, but he's not going to kill you.
Right.
So that's my opinion. Chad Carter, good morning. Smash the like button, you peons. Stay hard.
Stay hard.
Exactly right. Hit the like button. Appreciate it. Dakota, don't pay Dak. The experiment clearly isn't working since we're always having the same conversation. Ding. Excellent point. What's the one constant on the field? Dak's the constant. Dak's the problem. But I also think they spend money in weird places. They spend money on guys who don't stay healthy. You'll keep a Leighton Vander Esch, but you're going to cut a Randy Gregory.
And then you're going to hesitate to pay Zach Martin.
And you force Zach Martin to hold out. And you don't. I think the Zeke thing was a huge mistake. I think letting Zeke go was a mistake.
Well, I think,
and he wanted to be there,
but then also you held on to him too long. Like so
at
with
that number,
Zeke, you needed to either move from him or figure it out.
You can't pay him what you paid him. You pay the quarterback. You don't pay the running back. It's why the Giants. It's why the Raiders, to Brandon Butler's point with Jacobs, they handled that well. You're getting outmaneuvered by the fucking Raiders, bro.
Yeah,
like that's to the point where Jarrett is. You're paying Zeke and you suffered for it because then he walked away because you wouldn't repay him and give him a raise.
Yeah.
You should have paid him a better number. It's all these decisions, dude. They, in my opinion, they all add up. Drew Dozer says, Monty, Valley Ford of Columbus. Well, hit me up, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Hit me up. Hit me up, man. OG Gary, phenomenal Hebrew. Carr has got to go or maybe trade him for a pick in a later round. Well, Derek Carr
just hasn't worked.
Derek Carr's probably a number 2.
Derek Carr needs to go to Minnesota when Kirk Cousins leaves.
Yeah. Whatever. Sean Mierzinski, hello. Only thing that concerns me about Penix is the age. That's it. Well, in the injury history. San Diego State, Glenn, Saquon Barkley is a better fit for Dallas than Josh Jacobs. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. No doubt about it. Brandon Barkley's going to cost more than Jacobs and is more injury prone. Well, and significant injuries. But what am I saying is logical? But what I am saying is logical, and that's not the way the Cowboys work. No, that's not the Cowboy way.
Problem.
I agree with that.
Dakota's point, I to piggyback on that, I think the constant is Jerry. It just there's no getting away from it. I mean, you've been the owner for decades now, and you just haven't found a way to win. And I think there's a big part of that is the draft. And obviously, you've got some boys here that you drafted, but there was also some boys you missed. And I think that's the thing that Cowboy fans, I think, don't want to talk about as much is that, yeah, sure, you got Dak and, that's, largely he's been a success, obviously franchise guy, MVP candidate every year, can really play the game, but you don't know how to build a winning formula. The fact that the Chiefs continue to win Super Bowls in this league with Patrick Mahomes and a slew of mid-casual guys is crazy to me. And they do that because they have better coaching than you. They have more belief. They've got a better system. Like, that's how they do that.
Okay. Now, here on the Monty Show, we love breaking news, right? We love breaking news. Presented by Big O Tires, your home for total car care. Big O Tires and American Fork. Go see our guy, Ryan. He brings you Jake Retzloff every Thursday at 7:30 on the Monty program, which we will have Jake on the show tomorrow. And the guys at Big O Tires have done everything on my Jeep Grand Cherokee, from brakes and tires to window tinting to oil changes. Hook it up, Big O Tires in American Fork. Science says that couples that fart together are happier, healthier, and stay together longer.
Yeah.
I said couples that fart together.
Yeah. Yeah.
He keeps it real.
Yeah.
Now, my wife does not use the bathroom ever. She is women don't poop, women don't fart. We know that, right?
Yeah, we know.
But this, you know. Can we talk about dating to end the show today? Dating and fish sandwiches.
Okay.
Unrelated.
All right.
Did you guys see this story about dating apps being an addiction?
Via social media.
So Jake hates Match.com, but loved Hinge.
Mm-hmm.
Without knowing that the Match Group owns Tinder, Hinge, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, and Our Time, among others. But see, a group
Schemers,
of users are suing the Match Group, claiming that they build in features that cause addiction and do not lead to long-term happiness and prosperity. They say that swiping in dating apps is an addiction. Jake, as a serial dater and somebody who, no, I'm not going to say it.
You are what you are.
That's exactly right. Now that you and Oak State James don't seem to be coupled anymore.
Right.
You've used Hinge.
Mm-hmm.
You met your beloved on Hinge.
Yes.
You've also met the breadth of beloveds on Hinge.
This is your beloved.
Is Hinge and other dating apps addictive?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's two sides to this coin. So number one, yeah, the act of swiping constantly, because what you wind up doing is you wind up downloading Hinge, and like, at least for me, I was on the free plan where you can swipe just a limited amount. You get like, I think it's like 40 or 50 swipes a day or whatever. You get a certain number. And then you're like, well, I'm not really getting too much here, right? Like I'm not really talking to anybody. Nobody, I just can't seem to get traction. And you'll do that for like 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then what you figure out is, okay, let me look at the paid plan. Let me see if I invest $30 a month in this for a month. Will that help me? And what do you know? You invest the money, you get unlimited swipes, you get to upgrade your profile a little bit, and all of a sudden you start talking to people and going on dates and doing what we all do. And so is it addictive? Yeah, I could see how it would be addictive for some people. But I think the bigger problem here is that people have commitment issues. We would rather, at least I know for my generation and definitely for Gen Z, we would rather be on the dating app. We would rather swipe incessantly for months on end and go on some dates, but never actually commit to anything. And then we're all pissed off when we're on the app for a long time.
You believe that if you pay, you meet your love.
I believe that if you pay, I don't know if you'll meet your love, but what I do believe is that you're going to meet people and have way more conversations, because I think they're going to show your profile more. And I believe, I don't have proof of this, but I certainly believe, based on my experience, if you're paying, your or if like you send a message, like your interaction, that initial interaction to try to get someone to answer you, will get moved up their stack. Because the other thing we can't forget that I feel like nobody talks about is the dating experience for dudes and women is totally different.
Yeah.
Right. So like for dudes, you're reaching out constantly. You're constantly like, hey, like you're constantly trying to form the conversation. Whereas for women, you're the one receiving that. And so you have to sift through all this nonsense in your inbox. So you can't tell me, if you're Hinge or this Match Group or whatever, that you're not prioritizing the people who are paying. You cannot tell me that's not happening.
In your experience, you believe that?
I believe that 100%, because I know, because again, I've used Hinge for years. I've used Hinge for going all the way back to SoCal. I used Hinge back then, 100%. And I didn't pay for it in SoCal, but I've paid for it the last 2 times I've used it, and it works. It works. So that's why I believe that.
Now, having said that, I've never used a dating app or a dating site, or it just isn't, my point is, why wouldn't they give you better access if you pay? Mm-hmm. That's the way the world works.
And that's what I think the problem with their argument is.
And I also think the other part of this is, when do we become an accountable populace? This is that whole thing again where I say it's addictive. Okay, take the app off your phone. If it's a problem in your life, take the app off your phone. You guys will laugh at me. I don't have the Nike app or the sneakers app on my phone anymore. because I like buying shoes.
Mhm.
But I'm not buying shoes, I'm buying cars. I'm not buying shoes, I'm buying rounds of golf.
Well, look what they do with gambling apps, right? Like, or whatever. What do you notice about all the gambling stuff? Hey, gamble responsibly. Hey, like if you have a gambling problem, hey, like
Now, do we have to have if you have a swiping problem?
you know what I mean? Like, so I
Call
feel like
1-800
the
no bone.
issue, your point's spot on. The issue is
1-800 no
not that,
bone.
hey, yeah, the app works a certain way. You pay, you get more access. I don't even have an issue with it.
It
I'm
is what
just
it
saying
is.
That's the way it works. I don't have a problem with it. I get it. You're in business to make money. You made an app. You want to make money on that app. I get it. But what people want to do is they want to sue you because they're saying, oh man, the addictive nature of this is how you guys make money. When the reality of the situation is the addictive nature of it is not a problem because you're paying for it, bro.
In a class action suit filed February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Of course.
The day for lovers, lover. 6 dating app users accuse Match Group of having a, quote, predatory business model and deliberately, quote, employing psychologically manipulative features to ensure they remain on the app perpetually as paying subscribers. The lawsuit argues that Match's app violates consumer protection laws. Quote, Match intentionally designs the platform with addictive game-like design features which lock users into a perpetual pay-to-play loop that prioritizes corporate profits over its marketing promise and customers' relationship goals. End quote. The plaintiff says the app, which combined are used by millions of people around the world, use, quote, powerful technologies and hidden algorithms to keep users hooked and continuing to pay.
But right there, that line. Keep users hooked and continue to pay. Listen, man, we're all adults. They want you to pay, right? Like they want you to use the app to find a significant other. Do you guys understand their marketing position is for Hinge specifically is this is the app designed to be deleted, right? The dating app designed to be deleted.
Joanne Hemmings, a psychologist and relationship coach, said, quote, like any app, it's a business. It's there to make money. Shopping apps are designed to keep you shopping, and this is shopping for people.
It is. It is. I don't have any problem with it.
So let me get this right. The Match Group and their apps are good at what they do.
Yeah.
I think this is that whole conversation about a lack of self-accountability. I don't think people want to hear that they're addicted. I don't think people want to hear that your failings are your fault. And I think it's not it's again, this whole thing. And I put this on my Instagram the other day. It's not what you're capable of doing. It's what you're willing to do. You're capable of taking that app off your phone, but are you willing to do that? You're not, because you're addicted to that cleavage. You're addicted to that ass. You're addicted to looking at people's pictures, right? It's wild. Little Jizzy. There is like a 60% chance Jake is into guys.
Man. Wow.
Okay.
That's a new one.
Mike Smith, James ordered a mail order sports wife. He did. Marcus Stuckey, don't disagree. The point of apps is just to keep you on them, not to get you off them. I think that's the big thing is you're paying to get off and you can't.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Aaron Wilson, woohoo! Aaron also gifts a Monty Show membership. Thank you. Thank you very much, Aaron. Good to see my guy, Aaron Wilson, as always. Aaron says, what does it look like fisheye lens on a camera? Why does it look like? I don't know why it looks like a fisheye lens. I don't know. Mike Smith, look for the nurse with dirty knees. She's the head nurse. Yes, sir. I'm bringing it all back.
Okay, bud.
Eric Wasikowski, people get attached too easily these days after just easily these days after just a few messages. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean you get one or two. But my problem with Hinge was always that people didn't respond. And what they're not telling you is that they're going to match, but then they don't respond. That's a profile that maybe is not as invested. Like Hinge knows how active profiles are.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
So if you're a paying customer, they're going to feed you people
Yes, they are.
in your like feed. Because think about this. If you're paying, they're going to load up your swipe feed, right? Swipe left, swipe right, like or don't like. They're going to load that up with people, if you're paying, who are active, who are going to see that notification and jump on it. They see both sides of the fence.
I agree.
So it just makes perfect sense that, hey, if you pay, you're going to talk to more people. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Mr. Capazzo, good morning to you. Lawyers will be the downfall of this once great country with filing stupid lawsuits.
Well,
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I just haven't. Yeah, there's no doubt. Can confirm Jake is only 60% interested in Oak State James.
Whatever.
Love it. Mike Smith, people desperate for love do desperate things. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 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 There's no doubt. Kurt Myers, it was great. Haven't seen who drew tags though yet.
Not sure what we're talking about.
No idea. Go to lunch in the business district. Find a sugar mama. How do you meet women off of a dating app? That's the problem. If you're not on dating apps,
You don't meet them because that's the standard.
I think that's true.
Or you can go on LinkedIn and be the asshole DMing dating messages on LinkedIn.
Or what are you going to do? Troll people at the gym?
You know.
Oh, hey, baby, want to lift my bar? Right?
Yeah.
You can't approach women at the gym.
No.
Can you hang out with chicks at the grocery store in the produce section? Hey, look how big my cucumber is. I don't think that works. Right? I don't know where else you make people.
Yeah.
Oak State James. Jake is cool. I have no problem with him or Monty.
I don't
Hey,
have a problem
Monty.
with you, bro.
Dude, it's a
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a running joke.
There's no issue here.
It's a running joke.
Mike Smith, plenty of us found women before there were dating apps.
Right. But again, that's not the point, Mike. The point is when your old head was dating, there weren't dating apps. So
and
that was how you met
women
people.
actually spoke to men in person, like face to face. We talked about Gen Z and millennials yesterday.
Keep it real.
They don't go out. They don't socialize. They don't want to be approached. They don't. You walk when you're out in public today and you walk by a woman. Does she look you in the eyes?
9 out of 10 do not.
9 out of 10 will not.
Yeah.
And finally, and I want you guys to understand, I will fight you for this.
Fat.
Who has the best fish sandwich in fast food?
3/4 of this is inaccurate.
Because certain people who use dating apps on this show
Used to.
still do. Refuse, because it's an addiction, remember?
Oh, that's right.
Refuse to eat a fish sandwich.
Uh-huh.
Much to Mrs. Monty's chagrin. Hey,
Monty.
Monty. I am going to sit on your chest and cram a fillet of fish down your throat today.
Man, that's really, wow. Dude.
Jake says that fillet of fish at McDonald's sucks.
The concept of getting fish from a fast food place is repulsive.
No, it's not.
It's disgusting.
Makes me want to puke.
No, it's not.
Dude.
No, it's not. Eat this, not that.
Yeah.
Ranks the top 800 fish sandwiches. You guys, there's only 2.
The top 6.
The top 900. What are they?
Okay. The 6th best is the Popeyes spicy flounder sandwich.
If you eat at Popeyes, it's your fault.
5 is the non-spicy version of the flounder fish sandwich.
It's your fault.
Cool. Number 4, Burger King's big fish sandwich, which looks disgusting.
It does look disgusting.
It looks absolutely disgusting.
I would agree with that. There it is. It looks gross.
And then, so they've got the non-spicy one. And then you move on to the filet of fish from McDonald's, which to me looks underwhelming. I'll be honest. Like, there's nothing on it, really.
It is the best fish sandwich in fast food. There's only 2. For us Utahns, JCW's, JCW's, or McDonald's. Because I am telling you, I want you to understand this. I am not somebody that eats at McDonald's. I am not.
McDonald's breakfast all day.
I am not. But there's a tingling in your brown eye when you eat that fillet of fish.
Right.
That thing is, no,
Janus.
Dude, it's amazing. I am telling you, the fillet of fish is
right.
It is the thing that lights your soul on fire. When you eat that fillet of fish. I'm telling you, it's crunchy and flavorful. It's got texture.
Oh my God, just like that. Oh.
It is so good. The tartar sauce, so evenly spread.
Yeah, you're a big tartar sauce guy.
Across that filet.
Yeah.
Hiscock.
With the crunchy, perfectly toasted bun.
Right.
Just give me 3 of them.
Macaque.
It's amazing. And I'm telling you, there is no question, sir, that a McDonald's filet of fish is the king of fish sandwiches. Now, the JCW's fish sandwich, it's pure halibut filet, and it is
gas.
I am not sure that it is a filet of fish.
I'm so bricked up right now.
I know filet of fish. I love filet of fish. I am not embarrassed to tell you it's been years since I've had a filet of fish. They are amazing. They will change your life. I'm doing it. I'm not ashamed. Motherfucker. I am not embarrassed. I am proud to be the ambassador of the filet of fish because I'm gonna do that. It is quintessential white fish up in that mouth, and it is good. And it's warm. It's the tartar sauce is tangy without the salty aftertaste.
What I just said.
Wow. Boys, I'll fight you for it.
Okay.
The world needs a fish taco from Taco Bell. It does not.
Oh.
No, it does not. Aaron Wilson, Popeye's fish sandwich is great. No, it's not. That's a lie. You're telling me, Aaron, and you have many, many issues in your life. You're telling me this is any kind of anything that's good. No, it's not. Yes. No. Yes. Hell no.
No.
Yes. Absolutely not. Get the F out of here.
No.
Yes. Sex. Monty. It's amazing. The filet of fish. I'll die on this hill.
Dude.
I'll fight you for it. Damn. Meat with white sauce in your mouth? Absolutely. And donuts. Blackened ahi with no bread, please. I'm not even arguing.
Yeah.
Who's arguing that?
Yeah. No, I agree.
You need to eat a filet of fish on the Monty show. Probably
Monty?
not. Alumindursky. My guy. Let's go. I can't do fast food fish sandwiches. I can do a tier up like Irish pubs.
Yeah.
I'm not even telling you you're wrong.
Yeah.
Oak State James. Fish tacos. Fat Jesus is exactly right. I will give away an Amazon, $25 Amazon gift card. DM me pictures on Twitter or Instagram. Post them. Tag me in them on your story of you getting a filet of fish today. I will do that. I will do that at lunch today. Ah! See you tomorrow. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.